Good day, difficult. John here. Today's topic is about the relationships of geometric figures. To be specific, our topic will cover various relationships of angles to angles and lines to lines. Well, we don't want to get ahead with ourselves, so let's slow things down and organize this topic into two different subtopics. For this topic, we are going to have two subtopics, which are angle relationships and line relationships. In our previous discussion, we learned about angles. Just for a quick review, let's go back to the definition of an angle. An angle is a result of rays connected on each other's endpoints. Basically, it's the amount of bend these rays have, measured in degrees. So now, let's discuss the relationships that are occurring between these angles. Firstly, let's talk about the relationship between angles with regards to the sum of their measures. First, let's take complementary angles into the spotlight. Complementary angles are multiple angles having a sum of 90 degrees. Let's take this figure as an example. This figure consists of two distinct angles. Measuring the first angle, we get 25 degrees. Measuring the second angle, we get 65 degrees. Now, adding 25 and 65 together, we get 90 degrees. That's basically how it works. Now, let's go to the supplementary angles. Supplementary angles are multiple angles having a sum of 180 degrees. Let's use another figure to illustrate how this works. Again, just like the other example, this figure consists of two distinct angles. Measuring the first angle, we get 107 degrees. Measuring the second angle, we get 73 degrees. Now adding these together, we get 180 degrees. That's basically how these relationships work. Moving on, we should take a look at other angle relationships before proceeding to the next subtopic. Firstly, we have adjacent angles. Adjacent angles, from the word adjacent, are basically angles that are adjacent or beside each other. To execute this relationship, there should be a common ray for these two angles. Let's take a look at this figure. Ray A and ray B make angle A. Ray B and ray C make angle B. Now, can we say that these two angles are adjacent? Sure, since they have a common ray, which is ray B. Next, let's talk about vertical angle relationship. This bit is a little complicated than the previous one, so bear with me. This angle relationship is formed when two lines intersect each other, making an intersection line. We are going to talk about intersecting lines in the next subtopic, so don't worry. Now, where are the angles here? As you can see, there are four angles formed when such figure exists. Angles A, B, C, and D for this case. This is where the angle relationships come in. The vertical angle relationship is the relationship formed by the two angles that are opposite each other. In this example, we say that angles A and C have a vertical angle relationship going on between them, and the same is so for angles B and D. Now, let's move to the next subtopic, which is the line relationships. Similar with how we did the previous subtopic, let's review first what lines are. A line is a group of points infinitely directed towards a certain direction. Now, let's discuss the relationship that occurs between these lines. We have three, which are parallel, intersecting, and perpendicular lines. These are probably familiar to everyone, so let's just get to the point with each. Firstly, we have parallel lines. Basically, parallel lines are lines that do not intersect. From the word parallel, that is. Additionally, for them to not intersect, they should have the same slope or difference between its rate of rise and rate of run. Next, we have intersecting lines. These lines are basically lines that hit each other at a singular point, in which is where it intersects, therefore resulting to its name, intersecting line. Lastly, we have what we call perpendicular lines. These lines are basically intersecting lines but are regular. regular in the sense that they are in a perfectly symmetrical shape. These line relationships are formed when the lines make a plus symbol-like connection. With that shape, this angle gives a resultant angle of 90 degrees on each four corners of the intersection point. Now, let's summarize. For angle relationships, we have complementary 90, supplementary 180, adjacent, beside, and vertical opposite. For line relationships, we have parallel not intersecting, intersecting, and perpendicular T or 90.